I've made a ton of videos on my channel about my love-hate relationship with the climate in Sweden. On the one hand, you have these beautiful long summer nights that is unlike any place in the world. But on the other hand, in the wintertime, you have a lot of darkness, a lot of cold. I'm here in Mora, Sweden right now, and right now it's minus 11 degrees Celsius, but tomorrow it's gonna hit a low of minus 25. So this is a type of cold that I was never used to growing up in the US. In the Portland, Oregon area, we would have like maybe a week of snow every single year, and then it would melt relatively quickly. Whereas here in Mora, it's basically snow all the time throughout the entire winter. And it's not just the cold that bothers a lot of people that move to Sweden, it's also the darkness, because on the shortest days of the year, the sun might come up at say 9:30, 10 in the morning, depending on where you are in Sweden. If you go very far north, they have some days above the Arctic Circle that is complete darkness for maybe a week or two, depending on how high up you go. And then here in the middle of Sweden, maybe the sun will go down around 3 o'clock in the afternoon on those short days. So it takes a lot of getting used to and a lot of adjusting. So in this video, I want to give you my 5 top tips to survive the Swedish winter. And the first one that you should do is, this is something that took me a long time to figure out, but when you're cold, you lose the majority of your heat from your head. So it's really important to have one of these, a stocking cap. Just by wearing one of these makes a huge difference. And also you're gonna wanna have some gloves, because being barehanded in very cold weather is definitely not fun. There's a saying in Swedish, det finns inget dåligt väder, bara dåliga kläder, which basically means there's no such thing as bad weather, there's only a thing which is bad clothes. So if you have the right clothes and you're prepared, it makes a big difference. When I first moved here, I was kind of like cocky. I was like, okay, I think there is actually such a thing as bad weather, but the longer you're here, the more you learn to embrace it. And just being prepared, having a stocking cap, having gloves, having maybe some long johns under your pants, it's gonna make it much more bearable when you're actually out in the cold. And that brings me to my second point, is that even when it's cold outside, when it's bright and you have these short days, it's really important to get outside and get some of that natural light. Because the worst feeling is if you go to work in the morning and it's dark, and then you're in an office all day, and then you leave the office and it's dark again, and not seeing any natural light can be very, very difficult. So I always try to break up the workday, maybe go for a walk in the middle of the day, try to get some of that natural light, and that's gonna help your circadian rhythm so that your body knows when it's day and when it's night. I personally love going for walks, and just making the effort to get outside at least a little bit when it's not dark really goes a long way. A lot of people in Sweden have vitamin D deficiencies because they're not getting enough sun. So it could be also worth looking into taking a vitamin D supplement so that you make sure you're getting enough vitamin D when you're living here. The next tip is something that has been a complete game changer for me, because this year I got a membership to a spa. And this has totally changed my whole mindset around winter, because I personally love going into a bastu, which is the Swedish word for sauna. Personally now, I sauna almost every single day. And it's such a nice feeling actually to come out into the cold once you've been in a sauna and your body temperature has gotten so hot that it actually feels refreshing to be outside, versus if you wake up in your normal apartment and then go outside, and then it's gonna feel really cold. But if you come out of a sauna, your body just sort of welcomes the cold. I notice a huge difference when I'm walking to the spa. I'm like, ooh, this feels really cold, versus coming home from the spa, it makes a world of difference. So if you're living here, maybe treat yourself to a spa day once in a while, or find a gym membership that has a sauna. And even some apartments in Stockholm will have maybe a sauna in the basement. But whatever your situation is, I would say that Swedes love to sauna, so definitely try it out if you're feeling miserable in the wintertime. And speaking of being in Stockholm, there's something called slask that everyone should know about. And basically that's when you get some snow and then it sort of melts a little bit and everybody's walking in it, and it turns into this ugly, disgusting, muddy mess of like this mix of ice, water, snow. It's just gross. Nobody likes slask. But when you come outside of the city and you come to a place like this in Mora, in Dalarna, on the countryside in Sweden, it's so beautiful. It's a whole different perspective on winter when you see nice, crisp, white snow that nobody's been walking through or creating this slask, and getting outside doing winter activities like ice skating, maybe cross-country skiing, doing stuff like this. When you have fun winter activities to look forward to, it can completely change your mindset about experiencing and going through winter. So if you're living in Stockholm or a big city, I definitely recommend getting outside the city once in a while so that you can actually experience some of the benefits of the cold weather as well. The next tip I want to give you guys is maybe my favorite one, because there's a word in Swedish called mysig, which I guess you could translate to cozy. Swedish people love making it cozy inside, like lighting lots of candles. When it's dark outside, maybe lighting a fire, really warming up and making these cozy vibes inside, especially when the sun goes down so early. It can be a little bit depressing when the days are so short, but when you have this nice cozy environment inside to look forward to, it makes a huge difference. And to kind of go hand in hand with the cozy vibes, it really makes a difference when you have a good social life in the wintertime. A lot of people, maybe they feel like they don't have the energy to be social when it's dark all the time, or maybe they isolate themselves. I've found that to have the best experience possible in the winter, you really need to continuously make the effort to make plans, go out with friends on weeknights, have people over, or maybe you're dating someone and you can experience the mysig vibes together. There's actually a study that I heard about that I found very, very interesting, that was basically the impact of certain factors on people's lifespans or how long they would live. And what the study found is that the people that tend to live the longest, one of the factors that is really the most beneficial for this is having good social connections in your life. This was more important than, say, for example, smoking or the amount of alcohol someone drank. So for example, you could have a chain smoker that drinks a ton of alcohol, but if they were enjoying life and had really good social connections in their life, they would live longer. So try to avoid this isolation, because humans are social creatures. Find activities that you enjoy and people that you enjoy spending time with. And when you're able to do this and spend time with good people all throughout the year, it really makes the winter a lot less daunting. So with that, I'm curious if you guys have any other tips. If you do, leave them down in the comments section below. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in another one.